What's up, y'all? Welcome back to my channel, you know what I mean? Today, I've obviously brought my counterpart to explain these polar opposites, explaining the north nodes, so basically the spiritual paths that everyone carries in their natal charts. So, you know what I mean? Thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate y'all.
Yes, we do.
Let's go. So let's get just straight into it, because I feel like, when I watch video, I just want to get straight to the point.
Yes.
I'm impulsive.
Okay.
So, you know what I mean? So first off, I wanted to talk about the Cancer and Capricorn North Node, because I feel like personally I have this placement, so I'm first-hand experience with it, and I feel like anyone that has this placement can relate. So first off, got Cancer in the North Node, which is ruled by the moon. So obviously basically the North Node are the circumstances, life events, things, places, and people that you will be experiencing that make you very uncomfortable. It's like when you walk into a room naked and you have nothing but your essence to give. You know what I mean? It's that very pure energy that's like, but you're here though. But it's like, that's that North Node energy. But it's like the only energy that's able to make you transform and move past that cycle that you've been in from past lives. You know what I mean? It's like that wheel that you're in. So like all that energy that you already carry, that you're in present moment when you're comfortable, is your South Node energies. So in my case, I have Capricorn in my 12th house South Node, which this describes a person that is very like boss mentality, very disconnected from their emotions, because they feel like if they disconnect from their emotions, it's gonna make it easier for them to get through life, because they won't have to go through as much trauma and as much failures and as much like, turbulence when it comes to like experiencing new things. You know what I mean? Like Capricorn is a sign that's like, picture it like a goat on a mountain, like a mountain goat. When it's about to jump on the next rock on the mountain, it wants to make sure that everything is calculated. You know what I mean? It doesn't want to feel like it's about to mess up, because they hate it. And it's almost like life or death. Like, if I mess this up, it's over. I'm done. You know what I mean? It's like the end of the world for them, right? So they really want to make sure that they get everything right from the jump. They hate failure. You know what I mean? They hate vulnerability. They hate being seen as weak. They hate being seen as what they don't want to look like. Does that make sense? Like, when they go into a new circumstance, they want to be the perfect status, the perfect citizen, the perfect everything, so that, their status looks like, wow, this person is so smooth, so, flashy. Like, that's that goat energy. But it's what we've always been. And it's a cycle that's made us very egotistical, to the point where we have no connections, because we're so like addicted to work for our career and status, to the point where we end up using individuals instead of creating a bond with them that lasts forever. An internal bond, an internal connections, I should say. Because, in this realm, we all get fucked up with attachments. And attachments at a deep root level is subconsciously a desire. You feel me? So it's important for Capricorn to learn in this lifetime that we have to build a connection, an emotional connection and spiritual connection with the people that we choose to embark on journeys with. It's important to not make them feel like, okay, I guess he's just here for that, and I'm just here for this, and I'm just gonna do that for him so that he's satisfied, or I'm just gonna do that for her so that she's satisfied. No. Like, we gotta learn to really give, open up the heart space, because as that Capricorn energy, we have those rocky layers over our heart that's so like filled, and it's like when you're trying to stretch a string and you can't really stretch it, otherwise it's gonna bleed and it's gonna hurt and it's gonna be like ruptured. That's that Capricorn energy South Node. So in this life, we're learning to nurture our heart heal our wounds, you know, add some water to the scars so that they can heal, so that when we try to stretch it, it can really expand, you know, slowly, and enjoy the growth, enjoy the journey. Learn to love yourself, learn to be vulnerable, you know, even if people laugh at you because those deep wounds were kept inside you for so long that when they blow up, it's too much, you know what I mean? You gotta learn that it's okay. We all here to fuck up. I'm here to fuck up. I'm here to look ridiculous. I'm here to be fucking a piece of shit sometimes, you know what I mean? Because really, we ain't nothing. But we can be everything. You know what I mean? And finally, being with my exact mirror, you know, my actual, like y'all always say, a flame. You know, it teaches me to really let go. It teaches me that it's okay to love. For real, though. And being in love is not falling in love. Being in love means rising in love. And when you rise in love, it's a complete different effect. Then you become a magnet to completely change your own world and perspective and perception. You know what I mean? You get an eye in the esoteric and you get an eye in the exo, and then you can merge and become one. You know what I mean? It's magical out here. You know what I mean? But she can definitely talk to y'all about like
balance.
balancing the north and south node energy.
Yes, because you don't have to like, it's not about getting rid of your south node and just be like, because that is still your comfort. And to me, your comfort zone is kind of like your defense mechanism. It's the way you defend yourself in this world, because you do have to defend yourself. Like, that's where the ego comes into play. You know, it's not about hating the ego or destroying or deleting it. It's like the dark. It's like the evil. It's like that other. You need both. You need all of it. You know what I mean? At the same time, we don't need shit, but at the same time, like, anyway, but yeah, so when it comes to like your south and north nodes, it's about balancing that energy. How can you still utilize your south node and then evolve with the north node at the same time? You know what I mean? And it's a process. It's like things can never stay balanced forever. There has to be an imbalance to be a balance. So it's like constant, like trying to see how you can fit that Capricorn energy into that Cancer energy as well. So you know, balancing that work and play, right? Balancing that, like when it's time to hustle, when it's time to let go and be free and like be childlike and be like, Cancer is all about that like emotional expression and that vulnerability. And how to make those two work, you know, creating that balance, whether that looks like you putting in the work for a couple of hours, and then whenever you're not at work, completely being present with the emotional part of your life, with the people in your life, and even at work too. Like if at work, like, you know, that's what we're completely like destroying, is the fact that you have to like hustle and be this like no emotions in business. You know, you hear that all the time as an entrepreneur. You hear that shit, like you can't mix business with emotions, like out the window, you know. But I do believe that we can learn to use both. You don't have to get rid of your emotions to, like, you know, because that's what builds strong business partners, you know, strong partnerships, and like that strong foundation. And that foundation involves emotion, because you have to truly feel and believe what it is that you're doing. Right. So it's like they work hand in hand. So if you do have like a Capricorn south node and then like a north node and Cancer, I mean, like literally learning how to merge both, like, you know, not choosing one or the other. Because again, you do need to be more Capricorn-like sometimes. Because Cancer, right? When you get too lost in the north node, you can be too attached, you know, too much, like, you know what I'm saying? Emotional imbalance, to where you're all over the place emotionally, you know, or again, too clingy, too codependent. So we can bounce off each extremity just as easy, you know what I mean? Because sometimes you might be thinking, oh, okay, so that means I have to be just like Cancer, which is not the case. But like the darker side can come into play, where you're like too like all the time, and it's just like, oh, you need that balance, you need that detachment when it's being called to. But it's like it comes down to you being in control of your energy and knowing when it's time to detach, when it's time to attach, when it's time to detach, when it's time to attach. And I think that's like really that simple when it comes to that Capricorn South Node.
It really pretty much is.
And vice versa. If you have a Cancer South Node and Capricorn North Node, same thing. Learning how to, for them though, like it's like learning more how to detach. Right, and for the Capricorn South Node is learning how to create like healthy bonds.
Right.
I wouldn't even say attachment because that word has a huge like, you know, but you get me.
Right.
Healthy boundaries for both, whichever way. Because if you have that South Node in Cancer, then you're probably used to being too codependent, too passive, too selfless. You know, because there is such a thing of being too giving. You know what I mean? Because then if you're not taking anything back, then you're gonna feel super fucking empty and super fucking like emotionally depleted. So learning how to detach and be in that Capricorn energy and be more assertive with your energy and your work and what matters to you, when what you believe that needs to get done for you, what's best for you, like that's where you can utilize that. So so yeah, it's really about balancing everything, guys. South and not or and north and south, you know.
Yeah, because a lot of the time, you know, we're told to forget about our South Node. You know, if you like looking into spiritual videos and like getting into astrology, you'll run into a lot of like people saying, oh yeah, fuck the South Node, you gotta be completely into the North Node. Nah, like in life, you know what I mean, we in the yin yang realm, so we gotta learn to merge both and then create that balance in between, in that gray area. Know what I mean? But yeah, so that's what we wanted to talk about. This was the North Node and South Node of Cancer and Capricorn, which are opposites, polar opposites, which can learn from each other, really blend into each other so that everything can be in equilibrium. So
absolutely.
I thank y'all for tuning in. I appreciate y'all. And we love y'all. Stay fucking loveful. You know, stay mindful. You know what I mean? Keep it moving, baby.
Nah, I mean. Just like that. Oh, shit.
Yeah, one time.